There's still something you need to address!
Imagine this. Your friend gets exposed for being an alleged predator, and in the same document, the victim attempts to drag you down with him. Let's talk about it. Fryethusiast was a 24-year-old Splatoon content creator who recently quit due to an array of serious and quite dire allegations levied towards him. On the 23rd of April, a document was made going over his interactions with a 17-year-old known as Callie, not to be confused with the fictional Splatoon 1 idol, Callie from the Squid Sisters, and being accused of not only defending a predator, being complicit, downplaying, but also supposedly harassing the victim. Due to the severity of these accusations, I'll not only be providing context intentionally left out, presenting never-seen-before receipts, discussing where I was wrong, but like I said, debunking the many lies running rampant. Such blatant behavior has caused many involved to get harassed, receive threats, and even doxxed, me included. This is a tale of unhealthy relationships, parasocial behavior, and deceit. This video goes into rigorous detail, attempting to set the stage and apply context, so I just ask for people to watch until the end before they form an opinion on the matter. But seeing that's out of the way, let's get into this. Regarding the allegations pertaining to Fryethusiast being levied by Callie, like I said, I won't be going for a deep dive regarding the document, as I intend to give proper context regarding the situation as a whole, but I still want to briefly make it clear what Frye is being accused of. In Callie's document, she alleged Fryethusiast admitted to having romantic feelings towards her. She showed many flirtatious DMs. For instance, I quote, "Yesterday, I was looking at my rear in the mirror and wish you could have seen it. It's a burden too fat to bear alone." Frye says, I quote, "You make me laugh so much, Callie. Is it really that fat? Just thinking about it is making me... Does it jiggle?" End quote. There are also DMs pertaining to potential age play. Any kind of age play is just like, I do not mess with it, it's always one person being a child, like, what if I was... Age play? Age play? Age play? No! No, bro! No, please! 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 Please, bro! Please! Moving from the DMs, Callie further alleged Frye sent her inappropriate imagery, of which she provided an image she claimed was the least offending out of all of them. She stated the many calls they'd have, ranging from 5 to 10 hours, would result in scenarios where Frye would expose himself. Moving on to my involvement, in specifically the document, I was mentioned a total of 6 times. Callie claimed I would make jokes regarding both her and Frye, while according to her, knowing the details of their relationship. She then ended her document claiming everyone supposedly failed her, no one saved her, and apparently no one cared. Please remember these claims from Callie. She outright states everyone failed her, no one saved her, no one cared, no one tried to help her. These claims will be the cornerstone of this video. In the document, Callie heavily implied I was not only conscious of Frye's alleged behavior, but complicit. This video is in no way an attempt to vindicate Frye, but to serve as an explanation. I aim to give as much context as I can. Like I said, I just ask for people to watch until the end before forming a full consensus on the matter. Before I get into this, I want to make this clear, this segment exists to give context regarding Callie's character and what type of person she is. It doesn't serve to mock nor belittle her, but set the stage for what type of person we're dealing with, because this situation is not black and white. On top of this segment doesn't serve to defend nor culminate sympathy for Frye. Sagaeus, also known as Callie, was a Splat talker, now Splat Twitter user, who previously beefed with both me and Fryethusiast. She's no stranger to my channel as I made 2 videos going over her deranged behavior, though for simplicity's sake, I'll refer to Sagaeus as Callie throughout the video. Callie originally went on a year-long tirade against Fryethusiast, making just under 10 videos to be blunt, throwing tantrums over every small thing he'd do. If Frye had an opinion, Callie would make a TikTok video saying it was wrong. If Frye made the video, Callie would make a TikTok chastising him for it. If Frye said anything Callie didn't like, you guessed it, another TikTok video complaining. At the time, Callie had and still has a bigger platform than Frye. She averaged more views than him, so this was a bigger creator just dogging on the smaller one, for no good reason whatsoever, at the time at least. In return, Fryethusiast made 3 videos in total responding to her, which eventually led to Callie moving her videos, just relentlessly dogging on Frye, to YouTube, with an all-new 17-minute video, complaining even more, with me also mentioned in it, because I was friends with Frye at the time.
The only times I made TikToks on videos I watched in full, and was still disgusted by, was your sexism with a hint of derangement video. Even if we didn't have this whole drama going on, I would still call it warranted to dog on you for that. You called the girl deranged because she argued her opinion in a stupid way. That's not even just dumb, that's irresponsible and dramatic. You didn't just trash on her a bit, you contributed to a group of people, including vAqeii, of
all content creators.
I don't like your tone.
Of course, I mentioned in the video which has literally nothing to do with me. Some may say this is just a silly back and forth between creators, but Callie unironically described Fryethusiast responding 2 times in comparison to Callie's 10 videos as grief.
because you forever making that video. I'm not gonna forget about that. You caused me so much stress over a TikTok. I should be able to call you out for that.
I'm not gonna forget about that. You caused me so much stress over a
TikTok.
Saga went on to make 9 videos dogpiling on Fryethusiast, uncomfortably obsessed over him in their server, talked immense trash behind his back, and even went on to spy, I'm not kidding, spy on his server. Yes, we're getting into BPD levels of obsession here. Now, you want to know why Saga is still with this? Let's make it a game. Did Frye A. curse out Sageo's mother, B. break into the house, C. burn down an orphanage, or D. state an opinion regarding a fictional game character? It's the last one. Of course, it's literally the last one. Fryethusiast made the claim Marina, a fictional Splatoon character, was boring. That's it. That's what caused Zeal to do everything in their power to antagonize him.
You caused me so much stress over a TikTok.
Bro, this dude's just saying goofy, bro. Just shut up. What are you talking about?
Frye probably saw this as content to profit from. Callie was being dead serious. I actually made 2 videos going over the situation, of which Callie got her friends to not only stalk Fryethusiast at the time, but she also attempted coordinating them to also stalk me, because like I said, I just so happened to be friends with him at the time. And this was no game to her. She saw everything me and Frye did as an attack. Remember the guilty by association tendencies, as it will be embarrassingly important for later.
You're weird, buddy. You're weird.
She also had a mental breakdown in her Discord over me twice, for some reason. Dubbed by yours truly, of course. We edit all of these one takes, so don't expect Hollywood. Enjoy your Bollywood slump. No, 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 no! Confirm it, please! I'm gonna end it all. I'm gonna unalived myself. I actually screamed when I saw this. I audibly screamed. I've been screaming. I'm gonna end it all right now. I've got a ratio on this. Help! Help! Help me! Goof! Help! No! I need to unalived myself. Yuck! No! 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 I was saved today. I checked my shadow so nobody, and I was like, I want you. Right, dude. Words gonna explain how I want to go vAqeii or slam. Like, dude, shut up. No one is friend that likes you. Never have I seen anyone say good things about this guy. vAqeii can suck. Bye. I'm gonna say this at the risk of vAqeii saying this. He's so freaking annoying. Like, holy god!
Hurry up and let me write it! Hurry up and let me write it!
To be blunt, Callie is a mentally ill woman. There is something severely wrong with this girl. Imagine stalking and intentionally attempting to cause issues with people solely because you think their opinions on fictional characters are wrong, and then rope his friend into it for zero reason. And then when his friend responds, you have a self-pity mental breakdown in your server. After Frye's final response to Callie, he seemingly took all his videos on her down and behind the scenes apologized to her. Yes, Frye reached out to the girl who had spent the past year stalking him and decided he was somehow in the wrong and apologized. I repeat, he unironically contacted Callie and apologized to her. Now you need to hold onto your seats for this one. This situation is a roller coaster of emotions because you see Frye, upon seeing this, decided to, I kid you not, make a video apologizing to them. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So someone religiously harasses you for practically a year, if not more. You decide to call it out as it is. Then they have the audacity to make a 17-minute video doubling down and degrading you even more. And your response is to make a video bending the knee. Afterwards, both Fryethusiast and Callie became seemingly friends. I obviously made a follow-up video at the time because not only was I dragged into this for no reason, but this situation made literally zero sense. During this time period, seeing as they were now friends, somehow, Callie made it her mission to manipulate Frye to cut me off. This is what initially made me very leery regarding their relationship. Needless to say, I think they loved my video. So much, in fact, they went out of the way to try and ruin the relationship between me and Fryethusiast. For instance, I made a tweet joking about that one time Saga put their hand on the screen saying they wanted Fryethusiast. Saga noticed Frye reposted it, cried to their server, of course, and coincidentally not long afterwards, the retweet vanished. On the topic of Frye's server, actually, I ended up getting banned, which is fine since it's literally a Discord server, until you realize it was because Saga begged for this to happen. I really wish we were playing jokes here. They unironically begged for me to get banned from a Discord server solely because they disliked me. This can't be normal behavior, surely. How much of a chronically online loser must you be to make it a point 3 times that you begged a server owner to ban someone? Like, this is pathetic. As a matter of fact, Saga even leaked a DM of them snitching to Frye, stating they won. Guys, I got this guy banned from Discord. I won. Like, this is loser behavior, bro. This is so pathetic.
Jesus Christ, parasocial! You need to log off! Jesus Christ!
Like, shut up, honestly, you don't own the guy, right? You've known him for less than a week. You need to actually stop being so obsessive and clingy. I mean it when I say this person is deranged, because they've actively admitted in their server they've been encouraging Frye to cut ties with me. As Saga quite literally said. Also, I think Frye is like starting to wise up and stop being bought as vAqeii. We've talked about it, and I believe I'm actually getting somewhere with him. I get that it's hard to stop supporting someone you idolized, so I'm being patient. You stalked and harassed this man! You stalked and harassed this man for up to a year!
You have lost your mind. You have lost your...
Still, like I said, I made 2 videos going over Callie's unhealthily obsessive behavior, so feel free to watch them for further context. TLDR, crazy BPD woman stalks Fryethusiast, threatens to also stalk me, Frye for some reason apologizes to the person who spent a year obsessively stalking him, and they become friends. Upon becoming friends, Callie spends months attempting to ruin the relationship between me and Frye. Zeal has complained about me on Twitter. Their server, Frye's DMs, insulted my viewers and even wanted to stalk me. For what? However, now we have a decent idea of Callie's character, let's get into the main topic of the video. What adds the icing on the cake was how Zeal planned all of this. They admitted to intentionally attempting to cause issues with other Splatoon content creators in the past, such as Pochara, admitted to expecting Frye's initial reaction to the harassment, and even stated they wanted to beef with me. Yes, me! This will be very ironic later, don't worry. On the 9th of August 2025, Callie sent me a friend request alongside a statement apologizing to me. It was later revealed by Fryethusiast. He put up to this, as he said, I quote, Callie was so against it, because she thought you'd harass her over it. I had to fight to get her to do it.
What? Is this serious?
Golf? This person's apologizing to me? She's apologizing? What? She's apologizing to me? Hello? She didn't decide to apologize for attempting to stalk me, attempting to ruin the relationship between me and Frye, or lying about me behind the scenes on her own accord. No, Frye had to coerce her into doing so. Already yet another red flag, but don't worry, we'll be collecting those like it's Pokemon throughout the video. Imagine having to be told being an obsessive stalking lying freak is bad. You'd think this would be something she'd come to her own conclusion about. Although seeing as Callie had a history of being mentally unstable, I didn't truly accept her apology, but didn't want her to start stalking me instead, so I reluctantly buried the hatchet. For the rest of the video, I'm now going to show the HTML Discord archive of the DMs between both me and Callie. This is due to the fact Callie deleted a myriad of her DMs with me. In return, I also deleted my DMs with her. I'll elaborate on this later. On the 17th of November 2025, Callie sent me a ghost DM. For those who got assigned, a ghost DM is when someone sends a message before deleting it shortly after. So when you click the notification, you don't see anything. I hope I'm not overestimating how much of my audience actually goes outside. But all jokes aside, I obviously started probing her regarding this. This is when Callie said the following messages, I quote, "It might be important, depending on your opinion on mine is being..." I respond, I quote, "Then tell me." Returning to Callie, she says, I quote, "Maybe there's a minor being..." Who knows? Maybe the minor in question is me, and the group is someone you'll never guess. I have no idea why she had to say it like this. Callie had a history of making jokes previously, so I initially didn't take her seriously, and sent a video of the white man from Boondocks dancing. I want people to understand, not only does Callie have a history of making jokes of this nature, more on this later, but the last time me and Callie actually spoke was 2 months prior, where we left off in a joking mood, so this is auto-tonal whiplash. I asked Callie what she intended to do, and what he specifically did which brought her to this conclusion, of which Callie claimed, I quote, "Well, I have like 15 examples of him being overtly towards me, if that counts as anything." I want people to keep this claim in mind throughout the video. I told Callie to make a document and I'd look over it, saying verbatim, I can't do much with the situation without concrete evidence. Callie responded saying, I quote, "Sigh. I feel like that stupid Wojak that's holding the paper saying, here's reasons to make fun of me, please don't make fun of me, except it's like I'm a stupid minor, here's how I got please believe me." Okay.
What the fuck are you talking?
Within our conversation, I attempt to push Callie to make a document, of which she shows consistent reluctance to do so, with quotes such as, "Thanks for being nice. I might not make a doc, I don't know. I feel like an arse already. I've already been a jerk to Frye, and writing a doc on him would literally be writing out a list of reasons why he's terrible and everyone should hate him, and also he might just straight up go to jail. I'm practically planning his social murder while he's busy working his butt off." She also says these quotes for some reason, which are quite strange. I quote, "I'd feel much better about this if he were a politician. Get it? Because nothing bad happens to predators in America if they're politicians." Okay. I tell her, I quote, "So you're under the impression he you, and you think documenting experiences being a jerk? I doubt he'll go to jail, but what does him working hard have to do with this?" Callie retorts, I quote, "He's stressed. I don't want to add to the pile. I don't know. I'm sorry I made it your problem or tried to or whatever. I don't have the actual guts to make a doc. I can't. Sorry." I tell Callie if she gives me the receipts, I can take the burden off her back and make the document for her, to which Callie claims she didn't want to bother me like that and says verbatim, "I'm probably just attention seeking. I can't risk ruining someone's life over dumb stuff." I was obviously confused, as Callie opened the conversation describing both her and Frye's relationship as predatory, before folding under zero pressure, backpedaling, and dubbing it as dumb stuff. I further asked Callie to let me know what was happening so I could actually determine what was going on, to which she described their relationship as weird half-dating. Although in the end, Callie finally ended our conversation claiming she was going to make a document and that I should just give her a couple of days. This message was sent on the 16th of November 2025. Seeing as my friend was being accused of being a predator, I obviously took to confronting him the very following day. To preface, me and Frye were meant to have a call prior to this, as we were initially planning for a collab, but he spent several months just dodging my calls for some reason.
You know why.
Hello, Fryethusiast. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me. You've been avoiding me for quite some while, buddy. What's that about?
Avoiding?
Yeah, you've been running. Yeah. You've been running. You've been running. Funnily enough, at one point, I caught him being in the call with Callie when we agreed to call the very same day. Then he lied about it for some reason. As you can see from the screenshot, I have two Discord instances open, two separate accounts, both telling different stories. Don't get me wrong, I never took this too personally. Looking back, it was quite funny. I just want to make it clear, I didn't think I was going to get this call to begin with. The collab was supposed to happen during May of 2025, but I was only able to get him into a call during November of the same year. This also serves to set the stage on the dynamic of our friendship. Remember this, as it will play a key role later. So when he actually called me, I immediately took the opportunity to confront him regarding Callie's accusations, as I didn't think I'd get another chance. Like I said, seeing as my friend was being accused, you can imagine the call wasn't about the collab, which was an internal limbo at this point. The call between me and Frye was over an hour long, so I'll do my best to only show the highlights. Well, we need to have a little chat. A little chatty chat.
Okay.
So I heard that you... How am I gonna put this? I heard that you were g***ing Callie.
From who?
I heard... Now I want you to be honest with me, man. I just want you to be honest with me.
Okay.
Is this true, buddy?
No, not true.
So what's your relationship with Callie on?
We're friends.
You're friends. Just friends. Nothing weird going on. Nothing sus. Nothing peculiar. I'm gonna ask you again. What's the relationship with you and Sageos?
Well, I mean, like I said, we're friends. We're not like dating or anything.
You again? Oh, gosh. If you don't mind at all, would you mind to show me the DMs you have with this person?
Right
if you don't
now?
mind, of course, you screen sharing if you don't mind. If you're like, you're okay to say no, but if you don't mind, this is the easiest way to clear you out.
I'm not really one to share DMs.
Yeah, that's funny because you shared my ideas before. You shared my ideas before, but now it's like, I would never do it. I would never share DMs unless they're mine, of course.
Well, no, I regret doing that too. I shouldn't have showed those. But okay. I'm not one to show DMs besides that one time, which I do like regret doing.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Buddy.
And I've wanted to like break it off for a while, but I don't know how. Like I don't want to. Like I've been wanting to like not cut ties, but like I guess cut ties, break it off. But I don't really know how to go about that without like hurting her, I guess, or I guess like let him down easy. I don't really know how to go about it. I realized, and like I said earlier, I've thought about it a lot, and I wanted to, like I said, cut it off. But I don't really know how to go about that because it's not a good look.
Frye actually ends up admitting he originally had thoughts of ending his friendship with Callie. This is what gave me the green light to further push for this outcome. You don't know? Just you don't know? You don't what? You don't what? You don't know how to cut off. It's so simple. Listen, get them since you love to call them so much, right? You love to tell me, I'm busy right now, and you call them instead, right? Since you love to call them so much, okay, get them into a call, say, hey, you are a minor, I'm older than you by 6 years. I feel like the whole relationship we have, we should probably dumb it down or just stop interacting. I don't know what weird thing you have going on. Just cut it off from there. Just cut it off, bro. Just cut it off. I just don't get it. Like, this isn't like I don't know how to, I don't know. If you're, oh my gosh.
I know it's that simple. It's just, it's hard, I guess. I don't like hurting people like that. It's hard to like bring myself to like doing stuff like that. I'd have to, but it's just difficult getting the courage to like let someone down like that.
During the call, Frye was exceedingly reluctant to remove Callie, as he not only claimed to value their friendship, but also supposedly didn't want to end on a sour note. I didn't initially see this as a red flag, as Frye has been very consistent with his behavior of not wanting to be on bad terms with people. This guy's always been a bit of a pushover. For instance, me and Frye collabed on a video regarding a misandrous YouTuber. Like, the girl was actively talking about how she didn't want men in the Splatoon community. He even made a video himself, but he was quick to take it down and make amends with the very same YouTuber in question. Another instance is when he made a video criticizing Splatuber's toxicity, and then walked it back quite literally the following day. Not to mention, the entire Callie situation itself could also be applicable here. Needless to say, this behavior was nothing new. I think this is what we're going to have to do. I want you to remove Soggy.
Okay.
I want you to remove this person. I do not want you talking to them anymore. This person's a minor. I do not trust you to have any contact with this person anymore at all. I want you to remove this person. I do not want you talking to this person again. Is that something we can agree on? That you're not going to talk to them anymore? Like this. Oh, continue. No, go on.
Say I'd at least want to like
Like what?
talk it out, talk it out and like let him down easy, end on good terms. Like talk about how like can't do this anymore for XYZ reasons, and like end off on as good as a note as possible. It's not like exclusively to Callie. This is how I am with everybody. I don't like ending on bad terms, so I try to end things off as good as I can.
You guys have this weird relationship going on where you're way closer than you should be, right? Significantly more closer than you should be. And I'm saying, cut this person off, right? Stop talking to this person. I don't trust you to talk to this person. You agree that's reasonable for me to say this, and yet your biggest concern is, oh, but it'll make me feel so bad if I were to just cut them off out of the blue. Like, I've been trying to be so nice to you, bro. The answer is so straightforward. It's so straightforward. Cut this person off, stop talking to them, right? Because at this point, I just don't trust you to be around this person at all. And you're given the opportunity, saying like, okay, cut this person off, and you just don't want to. I don't get it. Cut them off. Please. Just cut them off.
I know I need to. It's hard to like bring myself to do it.
See, this is the problem. This is the problem, bro. Oh my god. Just cut Soggy off, bro. This is the problem you're displaying to me. This is the problem. It's nothing complex. You seemed all this willing until it was like, actually cut this person off. Like, you can say everything like, I was thinking about cutting them off, it was just this. You can say all of that, but when it actually comes to taking an action, which shows that you're serious, you don't want to. Like, you're the adult in the situation. They are a minor. Even though I don't trust you to talk to them at all. If you really want to send a message before this happens, you can make it very clear to them, and then do it. For some reason, like, none of these options seem to be, like, registering with you.
I could like send a message before doing it.
Frye, apparently not wanting to end the friendship he once had with Callie on a sour note, stated he wanted to send Callie a farewell message before removing her. He then proceeded to spend several minutes thinking of said farewell message. Show me the message you're going to send.
I gotta think about what I'm gonna say.
You've got to think. It doesn't have to be anything complex. Tell you what, you should tell me what you're going to do on this person, because in this call, I want the resolution of this call being that you've sent the message and you've removed them. Because I do not have, in good faith, I do not trust you to leave this call and not just message them again.
Okay.
What could you possibly be saying that's going to take this long, bro? So if you acknowledge that, then why is it genuinely taking this long? Like, you're struggling way too hard. Like, I've been patient, I've been giving you your time to, like, breathe in and out, do whatever you want to do, but it's like, now it's taking too long, buddy. It shouldn't be this difficult. You don't need a full-on paragraph. You don't need to write an essay. Like, I feel like we're just stalling here at this point.
It's just difficult.
Just do it, bro. Just do it. Just do it. You're making yourself look so bad. You're not convincing me. Like, listen, someone outside looking at it is going to, like, if someone outside looking at it looks at this, they're not going to think, like, oh, it's just so hard for me. They're going to think that you really want to still be in contact with this person. I don't want to believe that, but you're making yourself look so bad. You're making yourself look so bad. Please, if you can't send them a short and snappy message, right, just cut them off. However, in the end, Frye finally wrote his farewell message to Callie, and upon my request, removed and blocked her. You said alright? I was, okay. I thought you were gonna screen share. But sure, let me see what this is. Hi Callie, I can't continue to stay in contact with you. I should have never let it get to this point, and it's not a good idea to let it continue. I enjoyed the time we spent together, but this can't go on. You're a minor, and even if you weren't, it wouldn't have worked out anyway. I know this will hurt you, and I'm sorry, but it's better for both of us if we cut contact. I wish you the best and hope you do well in life. Okay, this works. I thought you were gonna screen share, buddy. Just make sure this is the message. Just gonna make sure. I want to make sure this is the message specifically you're going to send them, and nothing else.
Can you see?
Yes, I can see. Yes, I can see. Okay, go on and send it.
And then remove?
Yes.
Where would that even be at?
Okay, so You want to block them instead? I think block them would be even better since they're already here. Send a message and block them. And then enter.
But then it was.
Oop. Okay. Problem solved.
Is anybody surprised about what happened?
If the snippets fall short, it's mostly due to how a lot, and I mean a lot of the call was just me, pretty much begging Frye to remove Callie, us looping, or Frye being quiet for uncomfortable amounts of time. I'm not joking, it took Frye just under 40 minutes to think of the farewell message to Callie. It was very awkward.
Okay. I'm just to type up a message.
However, I want to quickly explain my thought process here. I had a friend who was being accused of preying on someone else, and while there wasn't any concrete evidence for either side, I thought regardless, the best action would be to just remove Frye from Callie altogether. I mean, even as an outsider, despite how Callie ordered Frye to ban me from his server, I noticed how weird their so-called relationship was. Heck, my swift removal upon being asked by a girl he knew for mere days at this point was already a blaring red flag to me at the time. You can imagine my confusion seeing Frye become friends with pretty much his stalker, then he starts obeying said stalker's demands like she's a drill sergeant, especially when Callie revealed Frye was 24, instead of my initial assumption of him being 19 to 21. However, I want to instill this point. Just because people of varying age ranges are friends doesn't immediately constitute predation. At the time, I wasn't under the impression anything deeply inappropriate was going on between the two. And while I'm allowed to believe a friendship is weird due to my personal experiences, I can have bad vibes all I want. But unless I saw proof, I couldn't believe any actual actually taking place. It is an exceedingly serious accusation, therefore I need to see a serious amount of evidence to back it up. Evidence Callie for some reason entirely omitted. I really didn't know what to think. Even before they got into contact with each other, Callie displayed obsessive behavior towards the guy. Like she literally put her hand on the screen saying she wanted Frye. This wasn't a joke, by the way, as she got really angry when I referred to her as such. You know, my bad for assuming something this parasocial was satirical. A part of me was under the impression this was yet another instance of Callie attempting to manipulate and or play mind games with the two of us. Though in the end, I still came to the conclusion Frye might as well just remove her just to be safe. They were both being very weird about the situation, I didn't know what was going on, and they were both saying things that conflicted with each other. Without evidence, it was quite literally a he said she said situation. Unfortunately, my decision here caused more issues than resolutions. After telling Frye to cut Callie off, the following day I woke up to Callie sending me Frye's farewell message asking if I had said anything to him. I obviously told her about how I confronted him, and this is where Callie started spiraling. She said, I quote, "Hope you enjoyed your Chris Hansen moment or whatever. I regret ever telling you anything. I would have been happy if I just shut up. You don't know what you've just done." Upon asking her what I did, she said apparently an explanation would be lost on me and said, I quote, "You don't care."
Bro, I'm about to really get fucking mad, bro.
I'm going to be honest, I was quite annoyed. Someone I didn't like at all, contacted me, claiming my friend was being inappropriate towards them, and I chose to not only hear them out, offered to help them make a document, but acted on their claims the very following day, despite lacking evidence. And now she's claiming I didn't care.
Give me a break.
I said, I quote, "I don't care. That's why I sat on a call with him for just under 2 hours confronting him. If I really didn't care, I wouldn't have spoken to him at all. We were meant to collab, I would have just planned that instead." Which is true. If I truly didn't care, I would have just shot Frye a DM asking if he was being inappropriate towards Callie, of which he'd obviously deny, and I'd leave it as is. Like we've already established, Callie not only has a tendency to attention seek, but she gave me zero reason to actually believe her. She then began dropping rolls of text on me, talking about how Frye was good to her, and that she messed it all up, claiming she couldn't live like this, she couldn't be alone. She was seemingly mad at me for removing the person Callie claimed was preying on her. I didn't know what to do at this point. I thought I had done the right thing, but Callie's explosive reaction implied otherwise. She ended the conversation saying, I quote, "I should have never said anything. I knew I wouldn't come out of this situation happy. I just lost Frye, and now you're trying to logic me out of my feelings or whatever." This was the last message she sent to me this month. After Callie Callie seemingly got mad at me. A month later, she proceeded to DM me first about some drama, as if what happened the month prior never took place. I repeat, after this event, Callie refrained from messaging me for a month, and upon DMing me first, it was about drama literally no one cared about. At this point, I had washed my hands off the situation. I didn't believe any took place. I mean, I literally couldn't. And can you even blame me? She sends me a DM before quickly deleting it, essentially to not only get my attention, but to create a sense of intrigue, so I question her about it. She describes her alleged like a what-if scenario. Callie doesn't seem sure about what she's even talking about. Claims she has like 15 examples of him being inappropriate towards her. Shows literally none in DMs with me. When I ask her to make a document, she acts as if I'm somehow inconveniencing her. She makes a completely irrelevant joke about American politicians for some reason. Claims she's under the impression she's just attention seeking. Seeing as she has an extensive history of this, you can imagine how this was a massive red flag. When I actually confront her, and get him to cut her off, she lashes out on me and attempts to also guilt trip me in the process. Despite how I didn't take Callie seriously at first, seeing as she had a history of making jokes and all, I eventually locked in. Callie didn't. Throughout our conversation about this, she made it abundantly clear she wasn't prioritizing the situation whatsoever, cracking jokes, acting reluctant. It was like Callie was going out of her way to treat this with as little urgency as possible. The situation she contacted me about, by the way, she made her point to contact me first, not the other way around. If the alleged victim couldn't even take their own supposed grooming seriously, how was I meant to? I'm not a mind reader. The point of contacting me was to prove he was actually acting inappropriately towards you, so we could actually take the correct steps to resolve this issue. People will say, believe all victims, but when the victim has irrefutable evidence, refuses to show it, and then acts shady for literally no reason, how is anyone with any form of integrity meant to believe them? No proof provided, I got chastised by the very same person I tried to help. Did I forget to mention this girl sent me zero proof? I will keep repeating how she adamantly refused to provide any evidence at the time, because this is quite literally how these things work. I want people to understand how much I was in the dark here, so much so, Callie herself acknowledged it. She outright stated, I quote, "You seem to have the impression that, despite my aversion to giving details, you know everything about the situation."
I have no knowledge of any of this. This is so bizarre.
Callie admits she's intentionally withholding integral information regarding the situation. Remember this, as it will be exceedingly important later. Proceeding the call, in Callie's document, she claimed she was distraught and contacted Fryethusiast via Twitter DMs. When asking Frye, he claimed Callie messaged him the very following day. So the day after we had the call and I told him to cut Callie off, she instantaneously ran back to him. It just confuses me how Callie portrayed Fryethusiast as some serial abuser, while she was not only glazing him in my DMs upon their separation, acting like she just couldn't live without him, but went running back to him the following day. I don't get it. I really don't. Why contact me about the situation at all if you're just going to lash out at me for trying to help and then immediately get back into contact with him? We need to actually start pressing Callie on her decisions. No, seriously, what did she want me to do? What does she want as the end result? What does she expect of me? However, I can already tell Callie's many defenders will attempt to spin the narrative yet again, so I'll make this clear. In no way am I attempting to absolve Frye of his involvement here. This doesn't change the fact he still responded after Callie sent a message request. He went behind my back to reciprocate her messages, despite the fact I told him not to, quite literally hours in advance. He was older and should have 100% known better. I didn't know the details of the situation at the time, but both Callie and Frye did. They were fully aware of what was going on. I didn't, and they both used my lack of awareness against me. Though, returning to her document, you can see a conveniently almost cropped out text from Callie, which reads as follows. I'm sorry I ever told him. I didn't know what I was thinking.
This some different kind of shit. And I don't want to be a part of it.
I feel like I'm the one who should be sorry. What's going on? This proves Callie attempted to rope me into this, but when she realized I was actually going to take action, she immediately began panicking and started backpedaling. Why contact me if you didn't want me to actually help? I quite literally removed your alleged from the equation, and you run back to him. It is evident she did not want me to actually try and help her, hence the reluctance, vagueness, and lack of evidence. I don't know if her motive was to just attract my attention, but it really seems that way. To preface, I had no idea Callie and Frye were communicating behind my back on Twitter until the release of the document. Neither party dared to fill me in about these secret DMs being exchanged. Seeing as I had literally no idea this was taking place, and Callie definitely didn't want me knowing either, there was nothing I could do. Fast forward to March of 2026, I noticed how both Frye and Callie were positively interacting with each other on Twitter. At this point, Callie had been an adult for a long while now. If we check Callie's tweets responding to Frye, there was a 3-month gap, paused on November 10th, 2025, resumed on February 13th, 2026. Like I said prior, I had already washed my hands off the situation. It really wasn't my business to begin with, I had no reason to pry. I just assumed they were friends again, and whatever Callie was doing was simply attention seeking, per her own words, and completely threw out the notion anything predatory was taking place. was planning on saving Callie's tweet to the next segment, but I'll quickly address the vAqeii stayed quiet and made jokes about him, made it into a funny situation when it wasn't allegations. In the video made by what I seem to be Callie's friend Zeal, someone else I have made a video on, shocker, he actually spoke about how I supposedly stayed quiet about the situation and was Frye's accomplice, and made it into a funny situation when it wasn't.
Get out my face with that. Get out my face with that crap.
I am not going to make an intro for this video. I want to get straight to the point with what has been happening in this current situation. There has been a document that has been released on a YouTuber called Fryethusiast. This document goes over some incidences of and grooming. Before we continue on, I'm going to make 2 points very clear in this video. 1, there are 2 accomplices in this entire situation, which are Press and a YouTuber called vAqeii. And a YouTuber called vAqeii. And a YouTuber called vAqeii.
No, I can't laugh yet. I've got to hold it in.
After the breaking point and everything that was happening with vAqeii and Frye, Callie was distraught. He simply didn't know how to feel, so he contacted Frye again in Twitter DMs. He actually responded and continued talking on that platform. I need all of my audience to understand that although this was not the best course of action coming from Callie's part, Callie was mentally unstable. He didn't know what he was doing during the time, and he didn't know what to do. So he thought contacting Frye would be the best course of action. After that conversation on Twitter, they continued talking on Twitter for a few weeks or so. They eventually moved back on Discord. That's what the document didn't exactly mention either. This is also the time period where vAqeii and Callie continued talking. He made a plethora of very disingenuous jokes about the whole situation, and really didn't do anything about it. So we're going to talk about some things that weren't exactly visible in the document. First, the things with vAqeii. As much as I don't want to talk about him, here we go. There are concrete evidence to prove that vAqeii did actually make these kinds of jokes about the situation at hand. So this is bare bones a definition of being an accomplice. Being silent about a predator for months on end, even after it was told to you about the predator. Now, we're going to talk about that later. For now, we're going to take a look at the screenshots about him and these jokes, as he likes to say. It was already bad enough for you being complicit and for staying silent about a
Ignoring how the artwork should be classified as psychological torture. The person who made the video is just as mentally ill as Callie. Like I said, I've already made a video on this person, with another on the way, but I digress. This has got to be the most embarrassing video I've seen this year, in more ways than one. Like, holy crap, I don't even know what to say.
First, the things with vAqeii.
As much as I don't want to talk about him, here we go.
2 people teamed up and somehow managed to still be wrong, and I thought 2 heads were better than 1. Really goes to show what I'm up against. But to finally address the accomplice vAqeii, he's just a little jokester, allegations. Callie would make jokes about dating Frye all the time, even knocked me into it a few times. Never asked if I was okay with it, but she did it anyway. However, when I did it, that's when I was being an accomplice, and or Callie's words, not mine, made it into a funny situation when it wasn't. It's literally rules for thee, not for me. I think I made it clear. I had quite literally no way of knowing any grooming took place at the time. Neither party was being transparent with me. They knew they weren't being transparent. Yet Callie expected me to know the intricacies of their relationship. Not to mention, I made said jokes when she was an adult. The situation took place mere weeks before she turned 18. Now, should I have made said jokes? Probably not, since that seems like something only she's allowed to do. But I just find it insane Callie would make similar jokes all the time regarding her, Frye, and sometimes even me. But when I do it, that's when it's an issue. As a matter of fact, Callie has made several jokes about dating me herself. She has a prolonged history of making dating jokes regarding me and Frye, but is angry when I do it back. For instance, I quote, "At Frye Addict, please let me in the poly crew with ZV. Please, at Frye Addict and vAqeii, I'm gonna draw you both tongue kissing if that's okay with you. At Frye Addict, at your wife, obviously, so he can make fun of you more." Callie proceeds to at me on Twitter saying, pss, 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 you know, the noises you make towards cats. For those of you who don't get the joke, Callie is referring to me as Frye's wife. She has a history of doing this. Moving on to DMs, Callie says, I quote, "Wow, thanks. This is my name, Docs. I love you so much." For audio listeners, Callie has just referred to me as my first name, of which is a Docs. "Thanks for the phone, Docs. Good morning, wifey. Where's my schmooky poo? My name, Docs. I miss you."
Oh, you nasty ass bitch!
Ignoring how Callie was just casually calling me my first name, something of which was not only doxed, but I never even gave her permission to do, by the way, you get the point. I just find that utterly maniacal. Callie has the audacity to pull a 180 on me when she made jokes like these all the time, but knowing her weird, clingy behavior, her part of me isn't even sure these were actually jokes. So to conclude, the complaint is, you knew I was didn't help me, then started making jokes about it.
Absolutely not.
Number 1, the stayed quiet part of the complaint is just factually untrue. Maybe if you actually made the document 5 months earlier when I requested, I would have been able to actually do something. Not that you actually wanted me to do anything to begin with. 2, literally no one knew you were because you refused to tell no proof to anyone this was the case. There's a hefty accusation, therefore it will require heavy evidence to back it up. 3, you make jokes all the time. You made jokes about dating Frye all the time. Sometimes you even brought me up in these jokes. I just want to make it clear how obsessed Callie was with Frye. If I sound tired, it's because I am. Callie says, I quote, "Because I want Frye. Frye, I want you. Please. Touch me, Frye. ZV, please cancel Frye. Cancel Frye. Please, Frye. I want Frye. I'm old enough for Frye. Yeah, Frye, protect me from him. I thought we had something special, Frye. Frye senpai, please notice me." Now, I was out here assuming that these were jokes. Knowing her behavior, I can't tell if this is a joke or if she was actually being obsessive and clingy. I don't know. At this point in time, I was under the impression Frye was 20 or 21 years old. You can't suddenly get angry at me for doing the same thing you did to not only yourself, but also me. The same person Callie claimed her, you're back in contact with him not even 24 hours later. I tried helping and she got angry at me. That's why I revoked my investment. What does she want me to do? Put Frye on a leash? Seeing the artwork she made, I bet she'd like that.
Oh man, we're failing as a people.
Callie came to me of all people with her issues. I did not like her. I definitely still don't like her now. She's aware of this. Yet I still tried to help and she threw a tantrum. From that point on, I couldn't take the situation seriously anymore because it was more than clear Callie definitely wasn't. Now we actually know what took place. Let's get into what and how Callie was portraying the situation on Twitter. I will put Callie's tweets into segments so we can properly break them down one by one. The following day after releasing her document, on the 24th of April, Callie made a tweet which states the following. "There's another victim now. His friends are protecting him. They've shut down and locked Frye Gang and Oceana. They know they've messed up. Something needs to be done. Anything. Literally anything." Here, Callie claimed there was not only another victim, his friends were supposedly protecting him, but both Frye's server, Frye Gang, and mine, Oceana, were shut and locked down.
Oh, wow.
I don't know much about Frye's server because Callie actually begged Frye to ban me from it last year, remember? But my server was never shut nor locked down. Like, I don't mean to shill, but you can quite literally still join my server of almost 5 years. It's still there, a bit dead, but it's always been there. Callie also stated his friends are protecting him. She's outright implying I was protecting Fryethusiast by shutting down my server. This is just a bold-faced lie. Not only is my server still up and running, like I said, but I have never protected Frye, and Callie knows this. I just don't understand why Callie lied about such an insignificant factor. Frye's server getting shut down because the owner is an alleged predator makes sense. But why would mine? Frye wasn't a moderator in Oceana or anything. He wasn't a close friend. He was just kind of in there.
We? Who's we?
Did she really think I shut down my entire Discord server of under people for a guy I spoke to, I don't know, like twice a month? Callie should know this better than anyone. She attempted to ruin both me and Frye's relationship, and even after her apology, it kind of never recovered. She unironically succeeded in ruining it. This is like shutting down an entire restaurant chain because one of your customers was supposedly a predator. It's horrendous, don't get me wrong, but life goes on. Callie is intentionally being malicious here. She's unironically attempting to paint the narrative that me and Frye were close friends, so close in fact, that I'd shut down my entire Discord server to protect him. Why would I even shut down my server? He barely spoke in there. In fact, almost no one speaks in there, since like I said, it's very much a ghost town now. The same guy who dodged my calls for almost a year, he had time to call Callie but not me, to the point of lying about it, leaked my DMs, went behind my back to contact Callie anyway, banned me from a server because BPD woman told him to, even made a video defending Callie when I rightfully called her out. Is someone I shut down my entire Discord server to defend? What? As a matter of fact, Fryethusiast was considering ending our friendship over Callie at some point. This was something Callie was heavily trying to achieve, by the way. I'm not trying to pull the "we've never been friends" or "we were never on good terms" card in the light of recent events that Callie is attempting to do with me, but it's beyond evidence me and Fryethusiast didn't exactly have the best relationship. He was generally considering ending our friendship over a girl he had known for not even 2 weeks yet. This created a dent in our friendship which never went away. I literally cannot stress how the way we used to interact with each other before and post Callie changed drastically. He did nothing in our friendship which warranted me defending, and especially not deleting my entire Discord server for him. Quite the opposite. I gained utterly nothing from defending this guy. So much so, Frye himself said, I quote, "If he finds out I'm even talking to you right now, I'm going to be in deep crap." How curious! If I was willing to defend this guy, if I were that close, I wonder why he expressed his fear of me finding out. I mean, if I was his #1 knight in shining armor, what would he be scared of? He knows me enough to understand I'd never let anything like this slide. If I was so complicit in this, it really makes me wonder why Frye was going out of his way to hide what was actually going on. I mean, the guy even hid his age from me, something as basic as his age. I had to find out from Callie. He felt so close enough to her to disclose such basic information, but apparently it was just off limits to me. She's quite literally creating fanfics about me and Frye at this point. It's insane what length she'd go just to drag me into this mess. Alas, I don't know what I expected from the girl who kept on calling me Frye's wife, and then drew this.
I don't like you!
Still, I think we've established this is just a how can I make this about vAqeii moment. One of many, unfortunately. It's generally baffling how much and often people just love to lie about and or misrepresent me. It's kinda sad. However, it's obvious why Callie lied about me shutting down my server. She wanted to make it appear as if I had something to hide, and even though, like I said, I can't speak on Frye's server, I wouldn't be surprised if his got shut down. And in an attempt to drag me into this, she made it look like I was doing the same. Despite how odd it was for Callie to choose something quite literally anyone could fact check, it's an overt manipulation tactic on Callie's end, as she knows no one on Splatoon cares enough to actually do so.
It's blank.
The penultimate tweet Callie added onto the previous thread with the statement, I quote, vAqeii was well aware of what Fryethusiast did. I showed him Frye's admittance to being attracted to me. He let Frye off with a slap on the wrist and kept him in Oceania. Ignoring how Callie misspelled my surname for a second time, you in my server, you should know this, she claims she showed me Frye's admittance to being attracted to her. Callie only posted one picture, which could, heavy emphasis on could, classify as evidence against Frye in my DMs, but quickly deleted it, so I couldn't even get a good look. It was a wall of text from Frye. I managed to get a screenshot from an old recording, and as you can see, there's a lot going on here. There's Spotify in the back, a YouTube tab open, file tabs open, while an episode of The Boys is in the upper right corner. My live streams have Subway surfers in the corner for a reason, by the way. It's not for you, it's for me. I don't think this needs to be said, but I was not focusing on her DMs. It's generally a miracle I managed to get such a quick snapshot. Alas, it's too low quality to even make out the words of said screenshot from Callie. But when comparing our messages from the archive, you can see said screenshot is nowhere to be seen. I'm not joking, she sent it and then deleted it within seconds. I mean that when I say it's miraculous, I was able to get such a low quality screenshot at all. I currently have 3 archives of Callie's DMs. She deleted it so fast, not a single archive has the image present. Okay, so if I sound tired, it's because I am. It's clear I am. So I'm going to show you all the messages Callie has sent me throughout DMs. So I'm checking from oldest first, we're scrolling up. And these are all the images that Callie has sent to me. As you can see, there's not a single screenshot talking about Frye's admittance. There's not a single one, because if I recall, she did send it to me and then she immediately deleted it, so I didn't even have a good time to look at it. Callie is, yet again, blatantly twisting the truth and or just lying. The image she sent and immediately deleted could have very well been an admittance, but because she ghost DM'd me, yet again, there is no way to know for sure. This girl has a nasty streak of just deleting evidence, it's insane. As for the well aware remark, I've already proven countless times how there was physically no way of me being conscious of this, and she knows it. She has no evidence to support the notion I'm secretly psychic, and somehow knew. Her behavior in the upcoming segment only cements this. Well aware is when you send me a blink and you'll miss a screenshot and expect me to read a wall of text in a span of picoseconds. How unreasonable must you be to expect me to have the reading speed of the Flash? A wall of text has no guarantee of actually supporting your claim, by the way. If you wanted me to read it, why would you delete it? I gave Frye a, Callie's words, not mine, slap on the wrist, because like I've repeated enough times to be classified as a dementia patient, the accuser, Callie, you, refused to prove how he was a danger to younger individuals. You have a history of being crazy. I have 2 videos to prove that. Why would I believe you without any evidence? You know what makes this worse? You had the evidence, acknowledged you were intentionally withholding it. Even said in my DMs after I told Frye to cut you off, I quote, you just decided to go off on your own and do whatever you wanted because I was stupid enough to give you any amount of information.
What? What?
The only person who could prove you were being exploited was you. When I removed him from the picture, she not only ran back to him not even 24 hours later claiming I didn't know what I was thinking, but threw a tantrum at me. You were, ironically enough, well aware of what Frye was capable of, and yet did everything in your power to sweep for him. There really wasn't anything I could do. Alas, I have evidence to support the real reason behind why Callie only now decided to make a document on it, but I'll save that for another video. Yes, Callie, I have all the logs, and it paints an even nastier picture than this video ever could. Still, the tweet talking about how I was well aware is insanely disingenuous. Like, it's actually astounding how much of a psycho she is. I showed vAqeii a single screenshot for 0.001 seconds. Therefore, he was well aware. Lastly, the tweet, Frye denied the relationship being sexual when asked, he shouldn't have been believed. This is increasingly ironic, almost sickening, as Callie did literally nothing to convince anyone she was actually getting f***ed. She never contacted any of Frye's server moderators. She was aware of Press, one of Frye's moderators in his Discord, also one of Frye's in real life friends, as she told me verbatim in DMs. I quote, Press knows him in real life, and I don't know Press nearly as well, but he seems to have a strong moral compass, and I wouldn't put it past him to do something.
Are you out of your mind right now?
I want you to remember this quote. Callie outright admitted she was aware of someone who knew Frye personally. She stated, but he seems to have a strong moral compass, and I wouldn't put him past him to do something. You refused to actually contact the guy regarding the situation. You had someone who checked all these boxes, had a direct connection to Frye, was actually Frye's close friend, knew Frye in real life, someone Callie claims to have a strong moral compass, someone Callie also claims she knows will do something. Callie didn't think once to bring such information to someone she was well aware could actually take action. She only seemingly contacted me, someone who lives in England, not even America, where everyone else resides. Someone who doesn't even know everyone involved properly, someone who realistically can't do much. Even despite all the odds, I still tried. Callie had the myriad of people to contact, her local law enforcement, because Callie admitted to me in DM she knew where Frye lived, anyone on Frye's staff team, Frye's in real life friend, Press, but she chose to vaguely contact the drama Splatuber instead, and when the Splatuber actually took action, she could anger him?
How does this work?
I don't know. I thought you...
What?
Daily reminder, I'm not the police. I just make drama videos in my bedroom. You see how ridiculous this is? Frye denied the relationship being when asked. He shouldn't have been believed. Why shouldn't he have been believed? You showed no evidence. If you showed evidence, Callie could have contacted several people who were actually close to Frye, people who actually knew him in person. Heck, like I said, even the police. You know what state he's from, but chose me instead, someone who spoke to him every now and then. Without hindsight, who are you more likely to believe? A crazy woman who not only provided zero concrete evidence at the time, but also had a history of being schizo, or your friend? If she wanted to be believed, she could have shown the evidence she had conveniently lying on the phone to literally anyone without deleting it in milliseconds, might I add. But that's the thing, she didn't want to be believed. I mean, she proved this in her own document where she was messaging Frye on Twitter. I refuse to further insult Callie's intelligence here. She had several avenues to take and ignored each one. It was intentional. Callie only decided to contact a member of Frye's moderation team after the document came out, with the quote, "Hey buddy, guess whose friend is a serial predator?" Is this how a victim is meant to act? Gloating in DMs about how someone's ex-friend is a predator, like she's actively rubbing it in his face, as if this is a gotcha moment. Is this not utterly disgusting to anyone? Callie attempted to criticize me for turning her alleged into a joke, while she's actively doing it here, yet again. Such a serious matter is being used as an excuse to mock someone who dared to be friends with Frye previously. I'm not sure if Callie is attempting to hit Press with a "I told you so" moment, because she never contacted him about it. Her tweet about how Frye shouldn't have been believed is just ironic the more you think about it. It's like getting robbed, recording the robbers on your CCTV cameras, telling the police about it, but refusing to show them the evidence, before finally releasing the recording online 5 months later and being like, wow, I can't believe no one tried to help me. You had over 5 long months to convince people this was the case. You can't now act surprised when people believe the guy who's being accused with zero concrete evidence. It's innocent until proven guilty. I will quickly go over my now deleted tweets regarding the situation.
Now we're going to go over his Twitter, and specifically the things that he has been saying as well on his server. He has made tweets saying how Callie is the one who is being malicious, and how he has nothing to do with the situation at hand.
The first one was admittedly nicer than the latter. I made it clear I had no intention of arguing with Callie. I brought up how I attempted to communicate with her behind the scenes on 2 different occasions. 3 if you bring up how she initially blocked me, and she made it a point to rudely decline, therefore going public was the only line of communication left. In the quote tweet, I tell her I'd give her one last chance to be truthful, and to take back the lies she has spread against me. I add on I have all the evidence to support my claims. Some may say this comes off harsh, harsh, but I'm not gonna cuddle someone who I know for a fact is being malicious. No one is forcing her to lie about me and then say no lol when asked for a private conversation. I don't know how I forgot to mention this, but remember how Callie refused to talk things out? Well, me and Callie were actually put in a group chat to discuss the situation, and she proceeded to, I kid you not, leave the group chat. It literally gets to a point. It's beyond evident she's just being malicious here. I want to make this very clear. I did not want to make this a video. I did not want to make this public. I was more than willing to sell this privately. Despite her behavior, I was still willing to be charitable. Callie portrayed me in her document as some money-hungry clout chaser, with the quote, not the guy who profits off talking about bad people, alongside messages in DMs like, I quote, I thought you were in touch with this kind of stuff considering you do it for money, and who can forget, everything you do is motivated by either money or making people angry for your own entertainment. While I made it exceedingly overt, I was more than willing to talk this out behind the scenes. I find it quite weird how your words are desperately attempting to paint me one way, while my actions obviously paint me differently. If I was someone who was only motivated by money, I would have just made the video instead of attempting to talk things out rationally, contrary to popular belief, but I typically enjoy resolving things confidentially. I've demonstrated this trait in several prior videos, but usually the people I deal with are incapable of talking things out like adults, and thus I have no choice but to make a video. Returning to the tweet, I then end the statement politely asking Callie to provide the proof of me knowing with full certainty that Frye was a predator before the document released. I say, I quote, you can't just say, I knew, without providing concrete evidence, which is true. I'm being very fair here. At this point, I've tried to professionally contact her 4 times now. The second tweet is quite self-explanatory. Upon creating my first tweet quoting Callie, instead of her deciding to talk things out like a responsible adult, she chose to block me instead. I went out of my way to rectify the situation to the best of my ability. I told Callie to make a document twice. I told Callie if she wasn't comfortable to, that she could provide me the evidence and I'd do it for her. I attempted to contact Callie behind the scenes privately 3 times, and upon contacting her publicly, she just chose to block me yet again. She rejected every opportunity to have a dialogue. People love to call me immature, but I genuinely tried my hardest here. Not only was I mocked for doing what I thought was the best action, removing the alleged abuse from the situation, even while knowing almost nothing about said situation by the way, but I was then accused of relentlessly failing Callie. I think people forget I'm not a grown-ass man. I'm barely any older than Callie. The expectation I should know how to act and treat every situation perfectly is insanity. When I'm being treated like utter garbage, having lies spread on my name, getting threats sent to me, I'm obviously going to get frustrated. Imagine trying to help someone and you get repaid with them spreading lies on your name, manipulating your friends to cut you off behind the scenes, and convincing others you are compliant in something you put so much effort to help with. People forget I'm literally a person. This entire situation has been unreasonable on me, especially considering I'm not close to a single party involved. In fact, I'm barely involved at all. Callie was heavily pushing the narrative I just sat idly by and allowed Fryethusiast to continue. When not only was I the one who pushed him to cut off Callie, I was the one who pushed him to block her. I was the one who pushed him to ban her from his server, and I'll say this as many times as I'll need to, but Callie still got angry at me. Not to mention, I'm not even Frye's dad. I don't control his actions. I just wanted to help, and now I'm being conveyed as some predator sympathizer by many. I don't want to act like I'm some selfless hero, but to be treated like I did nothing to help just disgusts me. This is the issue with the Splatoon community, and most communities latched onto Twitter in general. They're dastardly allergic to doing any research and or providing proof. It's not uncommon for them to just block you upon doing the bare minimum and asking for any form of evidence to support their claims. We've seen this with vAntastic and Squid School. People ran with the narrative against Squid School for over a year, to the point he had to lawyer up, and to this day people still believe vAntastic is some serial predator. In no way am I comparing my situation to Gems and Vians, but at the same time, being accused of compliance in someone's is still a serious allegation nonetheless. This is ironic, as both me and Callie actually had this very conversation. You could falsely accuse almost any male in the Splatoon community, it almost doesn't matter who, and they'd eat it right up, just as long as you have a document. Someone could write in a document tomorrow and claim I consumed the blood of orphans, and people would believe it solely because it's about me. They're that gullible. Calling it concerning would be an understatement.
I want to change the way that people talk about these people. I want to normalize a tremendous, profound animosity towards them.
We're generally in the age of zero literacy. What do you mean a woman can just say, yeah, vAqeii 100% knew I was not show any proof, and people in the replies will be like, wow, vAqeii is such a scumbag. This is a serious accusation. People have had lives ruined over such things, and we all know Callie will get away with it, because it's not uncommon for women in this community to behave this way and get off almost if not scot-free. For some reason, people see a document and the entire sense of reasoning just jumps out a window. I'm calling it now. Callie is going to use her alleged grooming as an excuse, or maybe even her mental health. Call it in the comments. What happened to Callie was disgusting, unfortunate, it shouldn't have happened, but it gives you absolutely zero right to falsely accuse me. If it was me saying this, you know the replies and quotes would be full of people demanding I show proof. But I digress. In the end, I took all the tweets down because, like I said, I wasn't going to humor an argument on Twitter. I'm not 16 anymore. The people believing Callie's unfounded claims regarding me have already made up their mind. Me attempting to clear my name on Twitter obviously wasn't going to go anywhere. Maturing is realizing it's an unproductive waste of time, especially considering I'd be conversing with people who aren't even willing to have an open-minded conversation in the first place. It was obvious me attempting to get my point across would just spark a pointless argument, one I was not willing to indulge in. I'm not joking. The people complaining about how I deleted my tweets are just frustrated they couldn't start a needlessly unnecessary argument. Either way, I've saved everything I wanted to discuss in this video. If necessary, I'll make a follow-up because unlike Callie, I'm not afraid of applying context where and when needed. After everything, it really begs the question, why did Callie even do all of this? Callie said in her tweet she's no mastermind. While I don't think she's any Junko Enoshima, I do find it very interesting. She made a point to get close to two people whom she made a point to hate. One of them actually does something the warranted hatred with heavy air quotes, and in the process, uses their actions to drag down the other. I 100% believe Callie was being an opportunist here. She's quite literally a big figure in the Splatoon 2 community. Callie was well aware she could just say, vAqeii bad, and people would not only believe but applaud her. I'm of the understanding Callie intentionally sat on the situation regarding Frye, and strategically used it as an opening to snipe two birds with one stone. I'm under the impression Callie somehow deluded herself into believing me and Frye were close friends, so close in fact, that I should be held responsible for his actions. The girl never liked me to begin with, saw her chance, and took it. She has this mentality where if you connect to someone she doesn't like, no matter the nature of said connection, you're partly responsible for their actions, whether you were fully aware or not. I mean, both me and Frye's moderation team are proof of this, especially with the escaping accountability statement from Callie. Though I'm getting off track, I refuse to believe this wasn't at the very least calculated. She's not stupid, only her actions are. For instance, when looking at the archive of Callie's DMs, there are a myriad of messages from Callie missing between the November 2025 and April 2026 versions. To preface, the April archive of Callie's DMs was saved mere days before the document came out. Okay, so I have two of the archives. I have one from the 17th of November and one from the 4th of April. As you can see, the message is here. Thanks for being nice. I might not make a doc, I don't know, I feel like an ass already. I've already been a jerk to Frye, and writing a doc on him would literally be writing out a list of reasons why he's terrible and everyone should hate him. Also, he might just straight up go to jail. I'm practically planning his social murder while he's busy working his butt off. I'd feel much better if he were a politician. Get it? Because nothing bad happens to predators in America if they're politicians. Now, this is the archive that is from the 17th of November. When we check the other archive from the 4th of April, so that means 19 days before she made her document, the messages about politicians and joking about them being predator is seemingly gone. It has seemingly vanished. We can't see it anymore. So this just goes to show that she was tweeting DMs. As you can see, if we move back and forth, she says thanks for being nice. Like it's literally just gone. Like if I did Control F, there are two instances of politician being brought up. But when you go over here, there's only one. Why would you delete DMs?
You know why.
This is the one from April, so a few days before the document came out, and I say, if this is the case, shouldn't he be more scared of you than the other way around? Because Callie says she knows where he lives, and then I say, oh right, now this is a bit weird. Notice how there's a bunch of messages missing. How peculiar. We go to the one back from November. Oh, there's a lot more messages here, aren't there? Look. There's an entire image is also missing. How curious. So let's go look into that. So I know where he lives, as in I know his city, not his address. I could probably find him if I really wanted to, based on everything he said, but like whatever. And then she says, I'll make a doc. Just give me a couple days, I think. And I say, alright. We go back to the one from April. She completely gets rid of the part talking about how she's going to make a document. She completely gets rid of the part saying, I know where he lives. She could have contacted the police on him at any time if she really thought she was in danger. Okay, so I found another instance of Callie just deleting her messages. For instance, when I tell her to make a document, I say, make a document and I'll look over it. I can't do much with the situation without concrete evidence. And she literally says, sigh, as if I'm inconveniencing her. And then she says, I feel like that stupid Rojack that's holding the paper saying, here's reasons to make fun of me, please don't make fun of me, except it's like I'm a stupid minor, and here's how I got please believe me. So if we check the other archive from April, just a few days before she made the document, it's weird. It's weird. I say, I can't make a document with this situation. So there's even more that got deleted. Like there's more here. Oh my god, I didn't even notice this. So I say, so what's the plan on your end? What's he done specifically which makes you feel like this? We go back to the other one, and she literally deletes, well I have 15 examples of him being overtly towards me if that counts as anything. She literally deletes this. She deletes the part where she admits she had evidence, but she didn't send it to me. Oh my god! She deleted that too. The part about the road jack? That's gone too. What type of innocent, helpless victim? Someone, according to Callie, no one tried to help, would selectively delete DMs which don't fit your narrative mere days before your document releases. Don't get me wrong, deleting DMs isn't a crime, but when you're adamantly claiming I didn't do anything to help, and then delete DMs on your side in an attempt to cement said claim, it tells me you're just being intentionally deceptive. Literally no one told you to delete these DMs.
Coincidence? I think not!
I refuse to believe this wasn't deliberately curated to harm my image. There's just no way. You're telling me Callie coincidentally contacted me while knowing she could have instead contacted several people who could actually do something. People who were actually close to the guy. Callie coincidentally only messaged press after the document was already out, proving she could have contacted him at any time. Coincidentally mocked press for not knowing anything about the situation she refused to tell him about. Coincidentally refused to show any evidence 5 months in advance. I guess she also coincidentally deleted the only form of evidence within seconds in my DMs. Oh, and she coincidentally refused to make the document full of evidence she did have when I practically begged her to several times. Coincidentally tweeted, "Unalive all yellow Splatubers," mere weeks before her document released. Coincidentally forgot to mention she was flirting with the same person who, according to Callie, protected her. She also coincidentally forgot to mention she was playing Splatoon with him too. Coincidentally admitted she was intentionally refusing to provide evidence. Coincidentally mocked me for wanting to talk this out like adults. Coincidentally forgot she knew where he resided and could have, in theory, made a police report at any time. Coincidentally started deleting DMs, which made her look bad, mere days before her document came out. Coincidentally spoke about how she wanted to beef with me 2 years in advance. Coincidentally blocked me on 2 different platforms. Coincidentally left out how she made the very same jokes she's now chastising me for. Coincidentally forgot to mention how I literally confronted the guy she claimed was and who can forget her coincidentally hiding even more evidence? More on this later. These are dream speedrun levels of chance. At this point, we should hire an astrophysicist, because there is just no way the stars align this many times. This girl is actually psychotic.
I have won. Exactly as planned.
What's the point? I can't take it anymore.
I know I've been repeating myself, but I need to make my stance exceedingly clear as I'm dealing with people who are more than willing to stretch the truth, my words, or just blatantly lie. What Fryethusiast did was unacceptable. I do not condone it, I'm directly against it. But me being dragged into Callie situations, yet again, is absolutely unnecessary. She will literally dig herself in the holes Callie herself has admitted she intentionally digs herself in, going back as far as 2024, with the quotes, "Maybe I should start beef with more creators." I made a video on Prochara, and he never acknowledged it. Here, Callie is talking about attempting to start beef with popular pro Splatoon content creator Prochara. This woman is an untrustworthy, dangerous, manipulative person, and despite how much she wants you to believe otherwise, this pattern of behavior is unmistakable. I just ask for any of the poor souls who have the misfortune of being friends and or being in contact with Callie, please heed my warning, or this could be you next. I didn't heed any of Callie's friends' warnings previously, and now I'm paying the price. Please be careful around this person. I'll say this, Callie, although I doubt you'd actually watch the video, but you're absolutely free to document your experience with Frye. In fact, I encourage you to several times. But I had quite frankly zero reason to be painted as a predator sympathizer in the very same document where you're exposing someone for allegedly grooming you. You had several countless and numerous opportunities to contact the correct people regarding the situation. In fact, you had over half a year to do so. I even set all my grievances aside and tried to help you in what I thought was a time of need, yet you chose every path which coincidentally led to my own potential destruction. Regardless of your previous actions, I tried being nice to you. I really did. Heck, even you acknowledged it, because I knew I'd want someone to treat me with the same kindness despite my many previous mistakes. And you did everything in your power to show me all my attempts of hospitality were a mistake I will now learn from. I have all the DM logs, I mean all of them, and I'm not afraid to make another video detailing what actually happened. Like I said earlier, they paint an even nastier picture than previously described. In the same vein I didn't want to make this video, I most definitely don't want to make another. I really don't, but I'm being put in a position where I need to defend myself from slander. We both know what your intent was by putting me in the same document outing someone as an alleged predator. We both know the connotations of being featured in the document, period. You made jokes planning on outing Frye as early as 7 months ago. You were fully aware and yet chose to be vaguely opportunistic with your approach. Literally no one told you to do any of this. You, Callie, give all victims of predation a bad name. I've every small editing note, so I'll keep this brief. So I originally had the stream going over the situation, just a quick coverage before I actually made a formal video. On the 2nd of May, I announced the stream but delayed it to the 3rd because I was admittedly tired. To preface, I usually stream at 1 AM my time. I had all the resources ready. It was the first ever vAqeii stream where I actually put more than 2 minutes into preparing. But guess what I saw on the 3rd of May when it actually came to start the stream? You'd never guess it. Callie had privated the Google Doc on Fryethusiast. The Google Doc, which has just under 100,000 views, she revoked access. I'm not joking, she unironically started hiding evidence because she knew how bad she looked. I have never seen a situation where someone had played every wrong move imaginable. This is a new low I don't think has ever been documented on the vAqeii channel before. It's genuinely monumental. This document was public. This, as you can see, you try opening it up and access denied. It wasn't like this yesterday. The moment Callie was aware I was going to make a stream, proving what a two-faced malignant liar she was, she scrambled to hide what caused all these issues to begin with. I don't know about you, but if you're in the right, I don't know why you go out of your way to do the things Callie has done throughout the entire situation. Now luckily I made a copy of the document the moment she posted it, but it just goes to show how much of a malicious weasel Callie is. I'm tired of being nice here. What type of sick person are you to go through such efforts to rope me into this situation, refuse to talk things out like adults on 4 different occasions, refuse to show evidence on 2 occasions, and then lie at any opportunity given? All Callie had to do was make the document, and not try and drag me down with an alleged murder. The situation was avoidable. Minor editing note. I don't know how I forgot to mention this, but Callie did say she was going to update the document later, but originally put it off as it was supposedly late at the time for her. This proves Callie had no prior intentions of retiring the document. I know it's crystal clear she's probably attempting to cover her tracks, but just wanted to add more proof to the pile. However, knowing Callie, she'll probably attempt to excuse this blatant example of hiding evidence with something along the lines of, I didn't want my document to be used as content, or something else victim baity. Take your pick. This girl is unironically so malicious it's insane. In this situation, this was a lose-lose either way. Callie had a history of attempting to ruin my relationship with Frye since minute 1. She wanted to get people to stalk me, and even had a hate boner for me years in advance. This is someone who is innately malicious, and everyone who took her side believed the lies she spouted against me without even hearing what I had to say. You have proven to me you're willing to take sides without understanding the bigger picture, and I have no intent to ever speak to you again. I passionately believe in pro-truth. That's why I was so adamant on receiving evidence, confronting Frye, and having Callie make a document. I'm not going to believe in trust me bro testimonies, especially if it's regarding something as serious as I need evidence, something of which Callie refused to give me at the time. I asked Callie to provide evidence back in November. She only made a document compiling it in April, 5 months later. I would have immediately taken her seriously if she provided it months in advance. That's all she had to do. Same for if you take this up with law enforcement. They're not going to believe someone is a without evidence. Callie made it ironically evident. She had the evidence. She just didn't want to show it to me and got surprised when I wasn't ready to blindly believe her. I don't get it. Why even come to me then? I believe in getting both sides of the story alongside evidence before coming to a verdict. If you only have enough of an attention span to take the side which speaks out first and or speaks the loudest, you have successfully been filtered. In the end, I had no obligation to hear Callie out, and even despite everything she did to me, the warnings I received from her ex-friends in DMs, I still tried to help her, and look where that got me. I'm unironically getting punished for trying to help someone. I've had people I've known for years who switched up on me over this, didn't even bother to hear my side, and I'm now being portrayed as some compliant, uncaring predator sympathizer. Anyone else in my position would be livid. Either way, I wholeheartedly believe even if I ignored Callie from the get-go, she would have still attempted to push the narrative I failed to help her. I had no reason to be in that document, and she knows it. I am not your father, I am not your friend. I got dragged into this drama solely out of malice. I attempted to solve this amicably behind the scenes, yet Callie was steadfast to refuse. She refused to talk about this privately like adults. She blocked me on Twitter when I asked for evidence. She got angry at me for trying to help when requested in the first place. I can easily concede I could have handled the situation better at times, but I want people to remember I'm still human. I feel exasperated. If someone you tried helping months in advance attempted to frame you in the present, I'm sure you'd be more than just frustrated. Callie didn't deserve what took place, but that's where my sympathies end. To conclude, Callie is not a perfect victim. She used her alleged as an excuse to ruin the image of many, merely because they were friends with Frye before this came out. Due to her actions, many have had their information doxed, me included. Callie had attempted to ruin both me and Frye's image months before this took place, and now she finally got what she wanted. Thanks for watching.